Bonjour, bienvenue à tous. Merci beaucoup d'avoir venu. Welcome everybody. Thanks a lot for coming to this presentation organized by the government of Spain. In order to introduce the panel, please welcome María González Veracruz, responsible for the Spain Audiovisual Hub, Secretary of State for Digitalization and Artificial Intelligence.
Bonjour, good morning, buenos días. We know that these days in Cannes are complicated, really complicated for everybody, full of meetings, screenings, and a lot of work. So thank you so much for attending us today. It's such an honor. And thanks also to my team, Gonzalo and the rest of the team, to ICEX, Noemi, I don't know where you are, Spanish Institute for Foreign Trade, and of course, Marché, for their collaboration in organizing this event. For me, as a representative of the government of Spain, it's a pleasure to be at the Cannes Festival, and especially at the Marché, where 2 years ago Spain was the guest country. That invitation was an explicit recognition of the exciting moment that the audiovisual industry is experiencing in our country, with a power and an international presence that we don't have seen in history. This year, the strength of the industry and Spanish creativity is demonstrated with the presence of 2 Spanish films in the official competition of the festival, a feature film in the Critics' Week, 3 short films, and an immersive experience also in competition. In addition, several co-productions in several sections. To the films, to the teams, to the creators, to the production companies, I wish them good luck, because we know that getting there is only the culmination of intense, hard, and demanding work. A work in which they have all our support and commitment. The Spanish government is really committed to support the audiovisual industry. Because 4 years ago, the government of Spain had an idea. We saw that Spain could play a relevant role in the international audiovisual panorama, that our industry could be the protagonist of our revolution, because we had the talent, the capacities, and the materials to be an audiovisual hub in Europe, as we think we are. All it took was a government that believed in audiovisual as a strategic sector. That idea became a plan introduced by President Sanchez in 2021, the Spain Audiovisual Hub Plan. A plan that involved 30 ministries and for the first time considered audiovisual as a tool for transformation, employment, growth, and sustainability. The goal of the plan was to make Spain the most prominent production center in all of Europe. 4 years later, I think we can say that we have succeeded. Spain is now the place to be. Spain is in fashion, with a combination of legislative reforms, investment, creativity, and public-private collaboration. The plan has proven to be a success. It is the Spanish model, which Renate Nicolai, Director General of the European Commission and in charge of audiovisual, put us as the example to follow for all of Europe. Thanks to this plan, employment has increased, production has multiplied, and Spain attracts more and more foreign suits and investment. Today, we are really proud to tell you that we are in a position to inaugurate the 2nd season of the plan through innovative public support and investment policies. And that's what we are going to present you today. That's why we are going to present you today. We come to invite you to come to Spain, to invest in our audiovisual, to bet on a country of talent, professional, industry, to believe in Spain as a country of images, stories, technologies, of creativity, business, culture, a country of future. To take advantage of the opportunities that the government's stimulus policies has put in place. 1,712 million. 1,712 million in financial instruments for you that will transform the audiovisual landscape in Spain, and I believe that in Europe. I leave you with two women who are leading and driving this revolution. I'm really looking forward to listening to you. Carla Redondo is the Director of Audiovisual Communication Services for 6 or 7 months ago, and Maria Coronado is Director of Audiovisual at the SET. The SET is a public company in charge of carrying out this new phase of the plan and this big amount of money and investment. Thank you both very much for all the work, and for everybody, have a happy and a productive festival. Thank you so much.
España es, sin duda, the place to be para la industria audiovisual. Nuestros escenarios naturales, nuestro patrimonio, nuestra lengua, el gran talento de nuestros profesionales de la industria y nuestro liderazgo en conectividad y digitalización hacen de nuestro país un gran enclave para la producción. El Spain Audiovisual Hub es un instrumento que amplía las oportunidades para el sector. Por primera vez, un gobierno sitúa a la industria audiovisual como un sector estratégico, generador de riqueza y empleo. Una apuesta del presidente Pedro Sánchez para impulsar el crecimiento y sostenibilidad del sector, con una mayor y mejor financiación apoyada en fondos europeos. Un plan ambicioso que tiene dos objetivos claros: el desarrollo de la industria local, su digitalización y la atracción de proyectos internacionales. Los datos avalan que España es, gracias a este plan, el país de la Unión Europea con mejores resultados en crecimiento anual, en ingresos y en inversión en contenidos. Tan importante como lo conseguido es lo que queda por lograr. El objetivo es aumentar la producción audiovisual un 30% en 2025. El Hub Audiovisual ya ha movilizado más de 1.200 millones de euros desarrollando 15 grandes medidas que hacen a España todavía más atractiva. Un despliegue sin precedentes, con la implicación de 13 ministerios trabajando coordinados al servicio de toda la industria. Y con iniciativas concretas que han dinamizado el mercado para competir a nivel global. Como la mejora de instrumentos financieros y fiscales, la promoción del talento y la formación, la reducción de la brecha de género, la eliminación de barreras administrativas y la simplificación regulatoria, la obtención de visados más sencilla para facilitar la labor de profesionales internacionales, así como con una web con información especializada en tiempo real. Esto es una administración al servicio del desarrollo y el crecimiento. Esto es Marca España. Esto es presente y futuro. Somos el Hub Audiovisual de Europa.
Hello? Yeah? Sorry. Hello, bonjour, good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here to share with you what you've seen already, but it's the Spanish Audiovisual Plan that has been a real story of success. This plan was launched by the government in 2021, and it was a really mind-changing at the moment because the Spanish government thought and realized that the audiovisual industry should be strategic for the competitiveness and the growth of our country. So for this plan, we opened a dialogue with the industry to identify all the needs, but also the opportunities that it offers. We built the plan in really strong foundations that we detect in Spain, such as the Spain's talent and creativity, recognized worldwide, really high skilled professionals, a really strong industry in audiovisual and video games, because we had the designing that the audiovisual is not only productions and films and all the value chain, but also video games, realities, 3D dimension, and everything. So that was our idea when designing the plan. Also, really valuable the Spanish language, which is spoken by more than 60 million people in the world, and a very safe environment for investments. We are really also very proud of all our natural environment, different orography, climate, and also our artistic and cultural heritage that provides a really good site for productions. So the goals we wanted to achieve were to increase production, the Spanish production, in a 30%, to boost our international competitiveness, and also to attract more investments to our country. We use two mechanisms to do this: strong collaboration, not only public and private, but also public and public. Working together is how we get to achieve our goals. And also that this broad vision about audiovisual sector. Our first milestones were to the approval of the General Audiovisual Communication Law, and to increase tax incentives. So nowadays in Spain we have 4 different regimes of tax incentives or tax deductions. We have the general regime, which gets up to 30% in the first million of investment and 25% for the following millions. There is a special regime for the Canary Islands because of this geographic situation, which gets up to 54% tax deduction for the investment. The next one, the third one, is for Navarra, that you can get there a 50% deduction for the investments, and the last one, those of the Basque territories, where you can get up to a 60% deduction. So with this, attracting all the investment and all the views to Spain, we went for the first phase of the plan, which was in collaboration with another 13 ministries, making it easier to get visas for the workers to come to Spain for their productions, but also in investing in making a stronger and more competitive industry in Spain. Thus, through the ministry, we invested up to 100 million in collaboration, not only with public, but also with private entities. We invested 30 million in R&D to boost and promote innovative and the use of latest disruptive technologies such as IA in the audiovisual and video game sector. These projects were focused in SMEs, and up to 88 SMEs were profited by this plan, developing new equipment for audiovisual production, automating production, and developing IA technologies. 5 million were used by the Spain Film Commission, which I really want to congratulate because of that award that you received yesterday for being the award to the Spain Commission, sorry, to the Film Commission, to the best Spain Commission yesterday. So congratulations, and also for your partnership with us in the developing of the plan. And the Spain Commission developed such interesting programs and really promoting the Spanish international image and brand. First, they create the Spain Film Talent Work, which puts together and connect all the talent, both including both companies but also professionals, and making a special emphasis in women. They also strengthen the regional network, which they collaborate all together to brand Spain and under the brand Spain Film Friendly Land. They also create the Transmedia Spain Film platform that provides a comprehensive and up-to-date overview of key projects, programs, aids, and everything for the film Spain Commission services. And also, finally, they developed the Spain Virtual Locations program, creating digital twins of different monuments and environments that are key and very representative of our image Arbor Road. We invested also 20 million in RTV Play, which is the streaming platform for the biggest public media company in Spain. And this program was focused in the upgrading the platform to all the latest technologies standards. And also to integrate the RTV Play Plus, which is the platform that provides content from Latin America inside all the devices, thus expanding all the use and the significant experience of the user of all the platforms of RTV. As you can see here in Cannes, we have made also a really strong effort in the internationalization of our industry through ethics. And as you can see here, that we have several stages promoting all our companies and all our strengths. We have been promoting this in all different fairs and main events around the world. Through Ethics Invest in Spain, we've been represented, our companies, in 19 different international trade fairs, both in audiovisual and in video game sector. We have launched a really, really ambitious campaign and marketing campaign through spots in radio, TV, podcasts, and everything around the world, but mainly in our more significant markets, such as Europe, US, and also Asia. We opened 2 new antennas in the USA, the second one and the other one, the first one in Singapore. And Ethics also has published the Who is Who industry guide for animation and video games, featuring 68 and 128 companies respectively. Finally, what we did was to create more infrastructure in Spain through all our geography. So we created Madrid in-game it's a video game campus. In Murcia, we are going to launch this Friday the Audiovisual and Digital Hub, which provides a high-speed production stage with LED screen and 3D technology. In Gran Canaria, we have Digital Gran Canaria to promote the creation of extended reality. In Coruña, we have created the Coruña Estudio Inmersivo project, providing companies with the use of emerging technologies. And the last infrastructure we have invested in is La Sarsa project in Barcelona, which is a multi-device over-the-cloud platform for local communication. Finally, under this umbrella of all the first phase funding, we launched a public call for projects focused on immersive content, such as immersive content, metaverse, and Web3, to develop projects such as the metaverse for conversational digital humans, the development of virtual reality platform for board games using avatars, and a virtual environment for children diagnosed with cancer. So we have also created the biggest, largest information company that is managed by the ministry, and we will launch, hopefully in the following months, the report of the audiovisual increase for the last year. And that's all the programs we have developed, but I want to show you some data that is going to prove that our plan, launched by the Spanish government, it has a story of success. For instance, between 21 and 24, the revenue of the films industry grew from 251 million to 477 million. The total revenue for video game industry production at the same period went from 1.2 billion to 2.4 billion. It's growing, this industry in Spain, at 16.3 rate per year, which is amazing. In 2023, the numbers of entities focused on audiovisual and video game productions increased by 641 compared to the previous year. In 2023, Spain was ranked 4th in the European Union for film and TV series production. The feature film production increased by 40% between 2022 and 2024. Spain is the EU country where global video on-demand platforms such as Netflix, Disney, or Amazon invest the most. I also would like to highlight that the gender gap is reducing. Now more and more women are working in productions and in directing the productions, and it's getting up to almost 30%, growing, and there is more women representative in the sector. So we can say proudly that this government has the great idea to focus in this sector, which is strategic for the competitiveness and the resilience of our country, and we were fueled also, obviously, by the European funds. And now, as the Secretary of State said, there is the second season that it's managed by the SET, and we have Maria, the Director for Audiovisual of this public company, to explain us how are we going to invest all these 1,712 million euros in the audiovisual and video game sector. So thank you very much.
Bonjour, good morning everyone. Well, as it was said, this is the second season of a series that I hope it will have many more seasons. So let's go for the second one. Who is SET? Is the Spanish Society for Technological Transformation, a public business entity attached to the Ministry for Digital Transition and Public Service, established in July 2024 and mandated to manage 3 European funds, and one of them is Spain Audiovisual Hub. So we are lucky to have one mandate in the audiovisual sector. We are a public administration new company with a huge challenge, as I will share with you. These funds, as you already know, come from COVID-19 pandemic context and the Recovery, Transformation and Resilience Plan approved in the European Community in 2021. But what does this plan aim to support and attract? To boost and strengthen the audiovisual sector, improve the investment climate, and consolidate Spain as a global audiovisual investment platform and exporter of audiovisual products from a broad and inclusive perspective, including video games and digital creation through internationalization and the promotion of innovation, but also to attract foreign companies to Spain as a unique country of opportunities. In relation to the financing, SET has a total funds, as it's been already said, for 1,712 million euros. I repeated, 1,712 million euros, which must be channeled in public-private collaboration through the following lines. The first one, it's directed to investment vehicles, funds mainly, and the main characteristics are SET may invest in funds and vehicles that are regulated by the public Spanish authority or the European Securities and Markets Authority. SET can participate in equity funds but non-debt funds. This is an important point. The maximum percentage that SET can allocate is up to 49%. 51% must be private resources, and the maximum maturity will be 15 years. In relation to the rest of conditions, SET is in pari passu with the private investor. We are not going to lead negotiations. We will be in pari passu with the private ones. The funds must have a clear strategy for the audiovisual industry. And in the case of being a non-Spanish fund, but an European one, also must have a clear strategy for the Spanish territory. If anyone is interested here, later on I can give you more information in detail about it. The second and the third supporting lines are directly for companies. The second one, equity or quasi-equity. This is a kind of novelty in the audiovisual sector. Regarding a capital increase round proposed by a company, a newco, etc., SET can contribute up to 49% of the investment. The remaining 51% must come from private sources. The maximum period that SET can be in the shareholding is also 15 years, although this is negotiated in the shareholders' agreement, also in pari passu with the private investor. And the third line is debt, loans. This line is aimed at the financing needs that companies related to investments, etc., may have. Based on specific needs, SET may contribute with 70%, and the remaining 30% has to come from private resources like banks or private investor financing contract, etc. The maximum maturity is 10 years, including 3 years grace period, although SET is going to match the term guarantee structure and conditions with those in private company operating under market conditions. So, from a high perspective, these are the three financing instruments that we can offer you. And they share some common aspects, which are, when I mention a maximum percentage of participation of SET, I also mean a maximum percentage of public intensity, and this is an important point. If there are another public resources, they had to be a total of 49%. And I would say the main highlight, the deadline to allocate transactions with these funds is August 2026. Anything not committed by that date, will be returned to Europe, which means we currently have only one window of opportunity for the next coming year, and we really have to take advantage of it. The funds are based on promoting the public-private collaboration. As I said, SET can provide up to a certain percentage. The rest has to come from private resources, which makes a difference with the kind of funds that there were up to now. The minimum amount that SET allocates per operation is 500,000, 100,000 euros. And there is no maximum. This is a good news. So there is room for medium and high opportunities. The projects or companies' proposals must have a clear digital component and also to accomplish to minimum European standards in terms of sustainability. This opportunity is aimed at any business within the audiovisual universe. It goes beyond the traditional value chain of the industry. Almost any business, any project that has to do with the audiovisual sector and has the digital component can apply to these funds. And who can apply? Of course, any Spanish company, but also, and I think this is important here, any company abroad Spain that sees Spain as a unique opportunity to establish itself and grow its business with a medium or long-term strategy to stay in Spain. As a conclusion, if you are thinking in Spain as a great opportunity to establish your business, please come and talk to us. Or also another opportunity, if you see this as a great opportunity to become a private co-investor of audiovisual companies or projects, together with SET, please come and talk to us too. And thank you very much. And any further question, I will be happy to answer. Thank you. I think now there is space for questions, isn't it?
So thanks for the presentation. So I wasn't clear what the minimum investment was. Is it $500,000 or is it 1,100,000? Because the transcription.
Yeah, sorry, $500,000. So the minimum is $500,000. There is no maximum.
Gotcha. So €500,000 is the minimum.
Yeah.
Okay. Merci.
And it goes in percentage. So if you go through the equity instrument, you must have a minimum needs approximately of 1 million.
Right. Okay.
Yep. Any further question for Carla or me?
Hello, thank you. Where can we find all this information? Because it was difficult to follow without any presentation.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, there is a website, sett.gov.es. SET, yeah. If you Google SETT, and you put Spain, you will find it. There is the website. You can make any question through the questionnaire available, and it will come directly to me, so I will answer you. Or, I mean, I can exchange also my business card later on with you.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for your presentation and congratulations for all your achievements. As you mentioned that it would include any audiovisual product, would a film festival be also considered to be funded by your projects?
It could be, but it has to have the digital component, because what the projects or the companies that may apply, I mean, of course, they have to be within the audiovisual universe, but also, as I said, they must have the digital component. So if your festival has a strong digital component, we can talk about it.
All right, so then later I can get into the more details from you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for your presentation. Could you expand a little bit more about how the international players can take advantage of this? Because the Spanish producers are getting, especially the big production companies and the bigger studios, are getting a lot of international players coming to take advantage of the tax incentives and everything, and they're very confused about how to get more financial products. If you can expand a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The important thing is, and the disruptive, I think, from these funds is that they are more direct to the companies than just single projects. So foreign companies that want to establish in Spain because they see it as an attractive country because of the fiscal incentive, the tax rebate, the climate, wherever. And I mean, they can contact us, but it's important that they have a medium long-term strategy to be in Spain. Okay, that's important. It's not that they come, they shoot a project and they go back, because for that they already have the tax rebate. So this goes more to the structure of the companies, because we are going to obligate these companies to stay in Spain as long as the set investment is in the company. So it makes sense. It's Spanish money, European money, so we really want to strengthen the net in Spain and the opportunities. So they really can come, they really can apply. Actually, we are in contact with foreign companies already who are really thinking to establish in Spain, but they have that medium-long strategy to base in Spain. because they see it as a really opportunity, as an opportunity also for the future of the company. Thank you. Right, okay. Carla was telling me, and she's right, about the maturity of, once you apply, how do you apply? Do you apply through the website? Okay, it's very simple, the mechanism. So once you apply, the file is directed to the analyzing team from a financial, legal, and technical perspective. And it takes no less than 3 months to give you a concrete answer. And when I say to concrete answer, I mean going to the notary. You know that in Spain everything is signed in front of the notary. This is not the same in all the countries, but in Spain it's like this. So since the beginning you apply until we can go to sign in front of the notary, if the ticket that you have applied to say is below 10 million of euros, it takes no less than 3 months. If the ticket you apply is higher than 10 million, then it means that it has to be approved by the Council of Ministries. So this takes longer. I would say no less than 5 months. Okay, so this is important because, as you know, the deadline is August 2026. So please, if you have projects, if you have companies that want to apply, do it as soon as possible.
Hi. Good morning. Thank you very much for the presentation. I was having some thoughts about the process after the loan is given. What are the instruments that you put in place in order to monitor the loan through all the life cycle? And then what are the KPIs that you're measuring in order to measure the impact of the loan?
Sorry, I would appreciate if you could repeat the questions.
Yes, sure. So my first question is related to the life cycle of the loan. Like, during the life of the loan, how you're going to monitor that the loan basically is being done for.
Okay. You mean through the debt loan? The loan, not the equity, but the loan.
Yes, and then in terms of impact, I would be very curious to understand what are the KPIs that you are going to use in order to understand the impact of the loan, and on the micro level, but also on the macro level.
Okay, about the KPIs of the project, as long as it is framed in the audiovisual sector, it already has an impact for us. Okay, we don't have like concrete KPIs, about how much jobs you are going to offer with, let's say, with your company, or how many movies you are going to shoot. What we are going to see is that you are developing your activity within the audiovisual industry. It must have the digital impact and also the sustainability one in terms of the minimum standards of the European community. So from that point, it's quite simple. Okay. And the first question, as any bank, you sign a loan and you have a repayment schedule, and there is a monitoring as any bank would do. It's standard aspects. It's not much. The thing is that you have to get the 30% from a private resources, like a private bank or a contract with a private investors, and we are going to match the private structure. So that the private one is going to lead that structure as long as it acts in market conditions. Okay. Well, anyway, I think we will have now some time if you want to share something else, or if you want to exchange business cards or whatever. Thank you very much.